Alright, we should be live. What up, everybody? How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday after 4th of July weekend. Hope everyone had good celebrations and had good time off of work, or people who are in school or should be on summer break unless you have summer classes, but you know. Yeah, hope you guys had a good weekend. It was pretty hot. We went to a thing during the day with the girls, and we didn't get to really see fireworks because we weren't trying to stay out, but it was good. We celebrated, ate good food, that good stuff. But first, is this gonna work? It does work. First in the chat is Kale130. What up, Kale? How you doing? What up, Stang? How you doing? How's the family? How was... wait, let me think. No, your little one was born before the last 4th. But how was it this year for you? How was, you know, fireworks, late night fireworks and stuff? In my area, people just be lighting up fireworks up until like 2 a.m., which is very annoying as like an old boomer person now. But our girls slept right through it, so it wasn't a problem for us. But for anyone who has pets and veterans and stuff like that, I always think like, man, are we really like all our freedom and stuff like that? Oh, let's have fun. Let's light these loud, annoying fireworks into the late hours of the night and being inconsiderate. I'm just like over that. I think as a younger person, like before college age and stuff, I used to do that stuff. But now I'm just like, it's so dumb. And looking back, to me, fireworks is a waste of money. People have fun with it, whatever. If that's your thing, you know, tradition, you do it. But like, man, fireworks, they cost a decent amount of money if you want anything that is big and spectacular. I would rather just go watch it for free at like the waterfront or like a nearby park or something. Spending hundreds of dollars on fireworks, to me, I'm trying to think the last time I did that. I think I've always been so frugal that I never really spent a ton of money on fireworks. I think the first year or two me and Melissa dated, we might have went out to a fireworks stand and spent like $100, but man, nowadays, and then I know when the girls get older, I probably will go buy some fireworks just so that they can have fun with it. But I know some people go all out on it. They spend like $500 plus, $1,000+ on like artillery shells and all that. But hey, Toasty Bros, hey, what up? I don't know who's driving the account right now. I think everyone is saying screw big AI for sure. And that's what the article, when I read it, it brought the biggest smile to my face. Now, it's not nationwide. We'll go over it in a bit. But like, just any like state or legislation that is trying to do stuff to like combat these big mega billion trillion dollar corporations trying to ruin our backyards, I think that's a win for us. So yeah, but Toasty Bros, glad you stopped by the chat. What up, Tyler67? What up, RD Man? Yo, Dispatcher Gaming. Hello. It's Jackson. What up, Jackson? Hope you're doing well. We've got a friend who spends thousands. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like your boat or your dog. The best fireworks is your friend's fireworks, because you get to enjoy the show without spending the money. It's just like the best boat is your friend's boat. You get to enjoy the boat without the maintenance of it. But no, I totally get it. It's totally like a huge tradition to a lot of people in the United States. So if that's what brings you joy, you know, lighting up fireworks for a day or two that costs $1,000, it's like the experience. But for me, it's like that's just literally burning money. You can buy a PC for $1,000 that will last you like 3 or 5 years worth of entertainment and good times, as opposed to watching it all light up in smokes and lights. But yeah. What's up, West Be chillin'? The family's doing well. The girls just went down for a nap. Perfect timing for the stream. So we just chillin'. Wait, what was that? Tyler67 with the Canadian $1 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. You should have left a message. Or do they not let you put a message? I don't know what my settings are. I could have sworn you could put a message even with the $1. But maybe you just wanted to donate, so I appreciate it. Also, Jackson! You know how you guys do your YouTube shorts. If you guys ever want me to cameo in it, let me know. I can record in front of a green screen, and then you guys can pretend like you're putting up a mic, and then you can add me in the mix. I would love to be in one of your shorts giving one of my opinions on, you know, the types of questions you guys ask. So yeah, if you ever have something that's coming up, let me know. I'll throw up a green screen, and then you could slot me in as if I was at Toasty Bros HQ. Even though I would love to one day visit your guys' store. Just because you guys have such a cool setup. The viewers know, I talk about you guys quite a bit actually. But like I told them, like I feel like you guys have the perfect setup in terms of you got the YouTube thing going on, you got the PC Bros thing going on, and you have like friends and family. Like you guys are the definition of a family business with friends in there and stuff too. But like having family and friends work for you and making that work, I think that's awesome. So keep up the great work, guys. I can't ever say enough great things about you guys. Yes, please let Matt know. Let's see. Hello, people. Hope you're all still have all your... Yes! Did anyone lose a finger? Lose some eardrums? Lose anything? Yeah. I only really heard fireworks. We didn't really get to see any... You know, we gotta put the girls down by like 9 or 10. So, yeah. We just heard it. The fireworks had my kids up all night. It was bad. How old are your kids? Also, what is wrong with this? I need to refresh this chat. It's being weird. But yeah. Pete Dunn, thank you. Everyone is doing well. Hope you're doing well. What is... Dude, my chat is being so weird. I cannot scroll through it. Oh, it's 2 CAD. Wait, what? Oh, you need 2 Canadian dollars. Okay, I'm going to have to take a look at that. I think people should be able to write a message even if they donate any amount of money. Unless people start spamming bad stuff with like 1 cent donations. Or, yeah, I'll look into that. But thanks for letting me know. Yeah. Hot, muggy, and noisy. You couldn't sleep? Dang. You picked up a Quadro RTX 4000. You'll be using it in budget. Nice. How much you pick that up for? Toasty Bros are goated, most definitely. This electrical light policy should be adopted nationwide. Here, we're getting to the article. I don't want to talk about it too much. We're still waiting for people to get their drinks, use the bathroom, and chill and hang out and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I think most people will agree. We'll go through the article. We'll look at some of the stats and stuff like that. The issue is there's lobbying, and you know, it's all politics, right? Who can bribe and has the most amount of money to do so? As you can see, the state that did it, I removed it from the title just to clean up the title, but the state that did it is Oregon, and Oregon is, for the most part, one of the more liberal, progressive states in the country. It wouldn't surprise me if Seattle followed suit and did something similar. Pacific Northwest, you know, we usually are in line with stuff like this. But yeah, I don't know. Nationwide, I'm not seeing it, dude. With some of these companies being in the pockets, like some of these mega corps that are putting up these data centers being in the pockets of politicians, I think that's going to be a hard ask. But no, I think normal people would say, yes, that is definitely something that should happen nationwide. These companies can afford it, and if they're, you know, making it worse for everyday regular people like me and you, where we will see the impact, then they should pay for it. Yeah, no, I know. Me and Melissa need to open up those accounts for the girls. I don't know if I want to put money into it beyond getting that free money up front, but the free money is free money. So yeah, we definitely need to do that still. We actually just talked about it yesterday. Hey, no, long time no. Thanks for the $2 or $5 super chat. Yes, I know you are a long time subscriber. I recognize the name. Want to make a custom VHS tape that has a LAN or two as a memento? Where would be the best place to send it? I want to make a custom VHS that has a LAN or two on it as a memento. Where would be the best place to send it? Oh man, my PO box. It's not a PO box because it's not post office, but I have a business mailbox. It's down in the description. But yeah, it's at a UPS. That's why it's not a PO box. I used to have a USPS box, but dealing with USPS is annoying as hell. Getting a private box at a UPS store has been so much better. Thoughts on wait, what? There's a Big Chungus movie? No freaking way. Big Chungus movie. Oh, I didn't even know this was a thing. Whoops. Wrong window. Sorry, I put it in the wrong browser. Big Chungus movie. It was a 2019. I've never seen this or heard of this. No, so I have no thoughts on it. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Alright, thanks Tyler. Take care. I appreciate you stopping by. 140 from your local offer up. Nice, Stang. Nice. NYC fireworks noise is always deafening. Yeah, still a lot of fun though. I agree up to a certain time, right? Honestly, I think up to midnight, that's cool, right? I know it was the weekend, but still, some people work weekends, right? We gotta be considerate to them. No, but it's mainly the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. huge artillery shell, people setting off randomly throughout the night. You know, that's what gets to me the most. Is the stream buffering for anyone else? Ooh, is it? I live in Eugene. People in Eugene, Oregon don't even smile because it's rough. Wait. Let me know if the stream is being bad. I think more people would have spoken up if so. But it seems like it's okay. Okay, Dispatcher said gaming says it's good, yeah. Toasty Bros Jackson says, I never hear anything good about AI. Only complaints and people pushing against it. Somehow it keeps growing though, lol. Yeah. The funny thing is, like, I'm not against AI 100%. There's definitely things where I for sure have a stance on, like AI that uses stolen art or music or something like that to make something creative. Like, I'm against that. I'm against data centers being built near towns and ruining like the environment and their water sources, things like that. But like, I think we all have to admit we all use AI to some degree. Especially, like, if you use Google search, I guarantee you within the last however long since AI has become a thing on Google, Gemini, right? Like, it giving you the summary up front, that it had to have been useful to you at one point in time. I'll admit, like, I don't love that Gemini is forced in our face, but because it's now there, I do get a summary of what I'm looking for, you know, up front. But I always try to go to click on the links afterwards because I agree, it's a bad thing if people only look at the AI summaries, which are scraping a whole bunch of hard work that people have done and not clicking on links themselves, which do end up helping out, you know, these tech article outlets and stuff like that, getting their ad money to be able to keep afloat. And like, I've used AI to help me come up with like better video titles for the videos on my channel. Like, I will come up with a title that I think is good and I will ask it like, hey, can you help me refine this to make it more click worthy or more interesting? Like, I've done that as well. So I'm not 100% against AI, but I would say probably like most people, there are way more negatives to it than the positives that it has brought to me. I wish AI would have been helpful with the $1,700 I paid to watch Mexico lose. Wait, you 1,700 you paid. You mean like that you bet? You didn't pay that much to watch them lose. you decided on your own to bet that money, right? Or are you talking about a different currency and you actually paid $1,700, 1,700 in your currency to actually watch it? What are we talking about here? You used money betting, or you just wasted money watching a game? The only good thing I've heard about AI is in the medical field with creators as far as editing goes. I think I don't trust AI to edit. I tried to set up something for AI to quickly like pull interesting tidbits from these streams, and it was horrible. I installed, was it Llama or whatever on my PC. That, like, I started getting into it and I'm like, this is something where you actually have to spend a ton of time doing. I love how like all these creators are like, oh, you could tell Claude or like whatever, OpenAI, all these different you know, models and stuff to do this for you. But when you actually sit down and try to set it up, maybe for emails and stuff it's easy, like text-based things. But like if we're talking about, we're telling these machines to watch a video and pull out interesting segments of it. Setting that up, I got like a few hours into it and then I quit. I was like, yep, this thing, it's the first round of it popping out stuff was complete garbage and I didn't feel like wasting any more time on it. Hey, what's up, Pedro? How you doing? It's not AI, it's the hyping and over reliance on it. Yeah, that is true. AI itself as a tool is actually very useful. But all these companies putting all their eggs in a basket, them like ditching consumers like what Micron and Crucial did, just to put more of their eggs into the AI basket and leaving us like out to dry. Nvidia, stuff like that. Yeah, not a fan. Exactly. Ratings doesn't publish their reviews anymore. Wait, do they don't publish their, is it locked behind a paywall now? Is that, I remember hearing something about this. But also, if you guys know like I'm not pretty sure you guys have all used video cards before. No, so video cards does something kind of similar where you can go click on anything in theirs. Oh wait, what? They used to make it so that you couldn't, maybe it's on their video cards .net that they do that. Or did they open it up? Maybe, I remember at one point in time on video cards, like if you were looking at something, you could, what? You used to not be able to highlight stuff because they didn't want people basically copying and pasting their work elsewhere. Huh. I wonder if they removed that wall because now you could just feed an image to AI and it could basically, you know, transcript it for you and do the same thing. But yeah, it used to be on here. You used to not be able to do this. Wow. Okay, let me see if I can find an article. This is a surprise to me because I was going to use them as the example. Where's the news? Radeon News. Here we go. Yeah, interesting. It looks like they did change it. The AI I hate is the phone answering. Oh, like talking to AI agents. Yeah, I can't say I've had good experiences like on, you know, Amazon customer service or whoever else whenever you have to deal with it. Talking to an AI agent. It is just like, AI is actually capable of doing so cool things and it can be really smart. But for some reason, the types of bots and agents that these companies are using for customer support, they're like the dumbest things ever. They are not intelligent. They're just artificial. There's no intelligence there. We are using AI simply because we have no choice and it's only getting worse. They hide it. They push it like their stockholders depend on it. Yeah, I mean, I like you guys, I'm also rooting, like, I'm okay with losing AI if it means like everything goes kind of back to normal. It would suck for industries like the medical industry and stuff where they actually use AI to do like make breakthroughs or like, you know, do something way quicker than they would have otherwise. But for everything else, I'd be okay with the bubble popping. Hey, what's up, Frank Orelli? All is well, all is well. Hope you're doing well. 5 to 10 years, AI will be better. I keep on seeing these articles of companies coming up with like alternatives like HBM and other types of memory that should, you know, alleviate the situation we're going through right now, because it's not just us PC gamers that are being affected by this, right? It's like the cell phone industry, cars and stuff, other devices, TVs, other devices that uses memory. So yeah, it's not just us. I'm gonna raid meta data centers for RAM and SSD Ghost Recon style. I will cheer you on. Just don't get in trouble and don't hurt anybody in the process. I use AI with my home assistant to create home automations using Claude. It really helped me when I'm stuck. Yeah, like I told you, remember when we were messing around with Linux? Like that, it was awesome for anything, but the thing is it's scraping data for it, right? It just saves you the steps. And when I set up my Unraid server, home server, using AI was super helpful, because instead of me having to go through like a million different forum posts, it knew all the information almost instantaneously and was able to help me step by step. So yeah, no, for something like, yeah, you setting up your home automation, I could totally see it. I went through the similar process with both using AI to help me navigate through Linux and, well, Unraid is Linux based, but my home server. Okay, we're 20 minutes into stream. Maybe, well, yeah, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you can highlight, but can't cut. Let me try. So I'm going to do this, copy, paste. Oh! Can I get a free text pad online? No, not that. You're right. You can copy. It used to be, I didn't even get a highlight, the ability to highlight. But yeah, you're right. There is nothing coming out when I paste. Okay, so they are still protecting their site. That's good to see, because, you know, for the work that they do, I don't think people should be able to just copy and paste it and plagiarize. So, but I'm sure you could set up any AI model to still scan this, convert it to a JPEG, and then reconvert it back into text to steal it if they really wanted to. The company I work for has an AI companion we're supposed to go to answers on how to complete certain things or company policies. It always give me a random answer. It's always, yeah, no. I think a lot of companies are pushing AI onto their employees. Like Melissa has been telling me about it a lot at the company she works at. They're like, yeah, we want you to get like up to speed with the I don't remember. I don't even think she knows which AI, because she's not into tech. I don't even know if she knows what AI model that they're using. But yeah, so it's like there's a big push from upper level management for people to get on board with AI, because eventually they're gonna get the efficiency that they want, where they can cut heads. I bet, like these companies, like I've been saying it stream after stream, they want to use AI not because they want to keep the same number of employees and have them all be more efficient. They want to push efficiency higher, but they also want to cut heads, because that's one less office, like less office space they have to lease or even buy. That's less healthcare and benefits that they have to provide, less people complaining and having sick days, and people going on maternity leave, things like that. So a robot doesn't do all those things, or it just works, and it works 24/7. It doesn't need breaks on the weekends. It doesn't clock out after 8 to 10 hours on the job. It just works 24/7. So yeah, I don't know. It sucks. Most of us here, I know we got some unks in the chat, and hopefully, and I don't know, hopefully you're alive to see it, but also not really, because it's gonna suck. But yeah, we are going to witness what is gonna happen when AI is like gets even more advanced, but to a more mass scale than now, and it actually takes our jobs. Can I screenshot? Good question. I'm going to try to screenshot it right now. Yep, I can screenshot. That was easy. Yeah. So, yeah, you could manually screenshot. At our school district that I work at, they are trying to implement AI in our ticketing system, which we use fresh service, and also our union is trying to fight on AI to cut positions. On using AI cut positions. Yeah. Once the technology is there and we can't tell a difference, will people even care about owning their own hardware? Cloud computing is sadly probably the future. I mean, I think people will always care. But the vocal majority, which is I think right now, I think most people agree that they want to have their own hardware and not have to buy like a cloud gaming or to subscribe to a cloud gaming computer miles away to play some games. But I can see it becoming more normalized. I think it's going to take a long time though. It might be like by the time I'm in my like 80, like 70 or 80-year-old or something. I don't think it's going to happen as that quickly. I don't see it happening in a decade. And that's just, you know, my gut feeling on it, right? I don't think AI is moving that fast and cloud gaming I don't think it's going to be displaced that quickly, I should say. Remember, AI or Claude can go rogue and probably will, so whenever you give it access to the data, make sure you have a backup and it's not like personal information, right? AI is okay, but I do like the Resident Evil AI upscale mods. They look amazing. I think for stuff like this, like using AI to like, you know, improve DLSS and like do frame gen or whatever the heck, I don't think many people have problems with that, even though the whole announcement that Nvidia gave with the new DLSS and stuff, people were pissed at it at first. They were also just as mad at DLSS, like the original DLSS that came out, and ray tracing, and they'll get used to it. I think AI in those use cases, it's not as damaging or harmful. So, you know, it's being used to make a better image. You could argue like, oh, it's pulling from art stolen from people and stuff like that. But even then, like, it's not as bad as completely generating a brand new image out of nothing, right? We're just talking about upscalers here. Just saw this in my YouTube feed. Boy, if you live in Virginia, watch out. Wait, why? What are the Virginian politicians gonna do? But okay, let's get to the article. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about this just because I always love to at least have one thing to talk about from the tech news cycle, if possible. But this is actually good news with regards to data centers, which we don't see too much of. But power company hikes data center bills by 30%, cuts residential electricity costs by 1.3%. So that's also good for every normal everyday people getting, even though it's only 1.3%. I say hike data centers more and use that to subsidize everyday normal people. That's how it should be, right? Oregon approves change through Power Act, pushes developments using, and by that we really mean data centers. And I don't know what other companies are using this much like power. It's like mining operations, not mining like mining, but like crypto mining if they still exist, data centers and AI data centers, as well as normal data centers. And I should specify, right? We use the term data centers a lot when we talk about AI data centers. Not all data centers are bad. We can only do this stream right now because of data centers. Like YouTube has data centers that are used to like store the videos that we have, and to help run these streams and things like that, right? So not all data centers are, you know, AI driven. Even before this AI boom and wave, data centers have always existed. They're how these companies store what it says, data, as well as just keep a lot of companies running, right? Like even your mom and pop down the street, whatever store, probably pays for some kind of service from some data center for whatever their use case may be. So not all data centers are bad. For the most part, we usually talk about AI data centers. But yeah, so any companies using more than 20 megawatts of power have to pay their fair share. So residents no longer have to shoulder the cost of developing the grid. Remember, our grid is not set up for all these data centers to just instantaneously pop up and suck all this power out of it, right? So right now, a lot of power companies are having to, you know, do infrastructure changes and update their grid. And the fact that I don't think residents should have to shoulder any of the costs of if it's directly related to developing the accommodation of large power users. They should all be on the company, but this is still a step in the right direction. So this is Portland General Electric, PGE, Oregon's largest electricity supplier. So that's good that, you know, hopefully this sets a trend. Again, like I said earlier, I don't know if it will, just because I can see more progressive and like liberal states adopting this. Oregon being one of the most. Hopefully Washington follows suit. We'll see. But I don't see this being adopted nationwide. But maybe we can be hopeful. So Oregon Public Broadcasting OPB reports that the state's Public Utility Commission unanimously approved the increase, which will primarily affect large industries. So large industries, it kind of sucks for them if they get lumped in with data centers, because I don't think there are naturally like factories, right, that do use a lot of power for whatever, like manufacturing like facilities and things like that do use a large amount of power. But because they might meet that threshold, that is, I feel like it's mainly targeted towards data centers, they're going to see this upcharge too, but hopefully they can absorb the cost, right? I don't know, man. When I hear a big multi-million or billion or trillion-dollar company being charged an extra 30 to 40% for operating, I don't feel bad at all compared to if I hear about a regular individual like me and you, or like a small local business being like seeing that type of hikes. Then that is horrible. But yeah, big companies, I feel like you know, screw them. They can absorb the costs. They've already had their year over year profits and stuff. So time to pay up. But so large industries, data centers, and cryptocurrency mining operations. Meanwhile, costs for residential users will decline. The higher rate class, which was created last year under the State's Power Act, so this has been going on for like a year or more, will be applied to developments that use more than 20. So for me, I don't even know what 20 megawatts is in terms of like how a normal person would think, right? Normal people in their own homes with their computers and whatever devices they use, we don't think in terms of megawatts. We think of like, here, let me see. How much? Oh, we're gonna have to use AI for this. I'm sorry. How much power does the average person use in a year? So the average person, average American, uses a little bit over 10,000 kilowatts hours. Wait, so how's that to megawatts? So we take that in, oh sorry, we can just update this in megawatts. So the average person doesn't use a whole megawatt a year. Instead, they use about 10.8 megawatt. Yeah, sorry, megawatt hours. Yes. Okay, so that kind of gives us an idea. The average person in a whole year does. So going back to the article, that uses more than 20 megawatt hours. So then we have to convert it to straight megawatts. Yeah, because ours it's. Let me convert that. Actually, does it tell us here? Kilowatt hours per year. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, because the whole hours thing throws it off. when we talk about the actual megawatts, let's see, global. Let me make sure this is correct. So we use that much kilowatt hours in per year, but then because it's per year, you have to then convert it. That's just per year in megawatt terms. No. You just went from kilowatt hours to megawatts. Global average megawatt hours. Yeah, I think energy is yeah, okay. And go back to this one. What is Firefox? Wait, why did you ask that? I am using Firefox, yes. But why did you ask that? Yep, yeah, kilowatts. Yeah, we don't do by watts. Watts would be like individual appliances. But since a house has a bunch of them, yeah, you go up to the kilowatts. Like a LED light bulb is what, 6 to 9 kilowatts around there? Or not kilowatts, watts. AI data centers should pick their states to build in wisely, not like in Arizona, which is... Wait, should pick their states to build in wisely, not like in Arizona, which is crazy to me. So I'm not super well versed with nuclear and like renewable energy resources and stuff like that. Like solar, wind, all that stuff. But I feel like there's a large amount of this country that is just either not habitable because it's like too hot or like, you know, too far away from any natural resources that are useful that are needed nearby and stuff like that. Like, why not set up these data centers there, because it's super far away from any semblance of civilization. And like, if you set it up in an area that is like a desert or something, you can make use of solar. Now, like when I hear 20 megawatts, I have no idea, like that or more, how many, you know, like solar panels or like windmills or whatever you need to power this. But I'm just thinking, just get it away from people, please. Like, we don't want this nearby to us. We appreciate it existing because it helps power our modern lives, but don't do it at the detriment of us. Nuclear power is the best for yeah, so nuclear, again, I'm not super well versed in it. We haven't had like major nuclear reactor meltdowns for how many years now? I think, would we consider the tsunamis, what year was that? Within the last 20 years, it probably would have been the meltdowns caused by the tsunami, right? But that's not like a Chernobyl level of event. So like, on paper, yeah, nuclear sounds great. I don't know what modern like nuclear technology looks like and the safeguards that we have now, but that seems to be the best answer for everything. Like, it's the most cost efficient, it's the safest, it's the cleanest. It could be, you know, placed far away from bodies of water and stuff like that. Like, oh, okay, no, you probably need water to cool it down. So, but maybe put it on an island somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, no, I think nuclear is kind of a tough one because of the like Chernobyl and events in the past like that, where people just, no matter what, will not trust it. So building them in Alaska or other areas that are really cold is a good idea. That's true. You could use it to melt the nearby ice to help cool it, because temperature and heat and all that stuff is all important things to it. I mean, there's probably reasons they don't want to build it out there, having it not nearby. I understand these data centers need to be serviced by people, so you need to have it some population nearby to be able to work on it until we can get robots to completely take over and, you know, manage these themselves. But yeah, Hey, what up, Shauner? How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hope you're doing well. The Southwest is in a historically bad drought. The hydropower can barely keep up, let alone using water to cool hardware. Yeah. I mean, it's not just the Southwest either. Like, this happens not year round, but this happens multiple times throughout the year in like multiple regions throughout the US. So wherever you build these data centers, you better make sure historically it basically never has droughts, because then that's not a good look if you're fighting for the same water that you know, normal everyday people are fighting for. Renewable energy is a long-term gain. We're too short-sighted these days. I'm near where the new data center is getting made in Utah. The Great Salt Lake is drying up, but we're getting a data center. Ooh, yeah. They use crazy amounts of... It's like... That's what I was saying. Like solar, wind. Like, if these data centers need all this water... Well... So getting the power is one part of the equation, but yeah, like the cooling solution is another. It's for them to figure out. You know, they're multi-billion trillion dollar corporations. They need to do so in a way that's responsible. Arizona tea is only 99 cents. Use it to cool data centers instead of water. Arizona tea, in some places, you can buy a can of it for cheaper than you can buy an equivalent, you know, thing of water with the same volume. Rad Robot is also by Great Salt Lakes. Yeah, that was my point. You need to pick places that have water access, or at least not a drought state. Yeah. It's supposed to hit 100 in Tulsa tomorrow, and that's not even factoring the heat index. I assume you have AC. I would imagine if a place... Actually, no, we've actually hit... So, for people who don't know, Pacific Northwest is generally pretty cool. Like, in previous years, like summers and stuff, we get to like maybe the high 80s and things like that. Maybe 1 or 2 days in the 90s. But a lot of people up here in the Pacific Northwest don't have AC just because it's not needed. But in recent years, we've been hitting like really high 90s. I don't recall if we have hit 100. But on those days, if you don't have AC and you have children and pets and old people, that is a bad, bad formula. Like we have AC at our house, but it's not just AC. It's like a heat pump. So then it works as, you know, our heat in the summer and stuff like that. So we're set for like temperatures like that, but a lot of people, like even some of my neighbors don't have AC. Like our unit was put in place before we moved here, but by the previous owners, and then we eventually replaced that AC unit with heat pump. But yeah, the issue with nuclear power is when it goes bad, it goes really bad. But the thing is, that's why you put it far away from humans, somewhat, right? Because again, you still have to have people working there, so you can't put it in the middle of freaking nowhere, because the employees got to live somewhere. But yeah, and the space that affects is when it happens. I don't even know what percent of the world power. Let's see if AI can give us this answer. What percent of world power is powered with nuclear? Nuclear power provides about 9 to 10% of the world's total electricity. It acts as the second largest source of clean, low carbon energy on the planet, right behind hydropower. 9 to 10%. That's still 1/10. It's still better than nothing, that's for sure, but yeah. Okay, sorry. We got a little bit off track, but it feels like a lot of people in the chat are chiming in, and I think this is something that if it doesn't affect us now, it will affect us. Like, these small wins are what we need in the grand scheme of things. We need more legislation to push back against these companies trying to build these new data centers. So I saw in this article, so with more than 70% of Americans pushing back against data center developments near the communities, I'm kind of happy to see this number, because I mean it should be higher. Who are the other 30% who's like, yeah, for sure, build it in my backyard? What do you have to gain out of these companies building it so close to you? Like, I guess you could argue it could bring jobs to the community, but I don't know, man. You gotta weigh your pros and cons. I don't know if the pros from that outweighs all the other cons. If your power becomes unstable and you get more brownouts and blackouts, I don't think you're gonna be too happy about that. Some people, yeah, we do have to remember some people aren't paying attention. A lot of people aren't paying attention to a lot of things, unfortunately. You're right. That's why we're in the state of, you know, of the politics that we are in right now. I missed my window selling your 5800 XTD for the anniversary edition dropped. No. Okay, we're gonna talk about 5800 XTD in a second here, but let me read the rest of these comments. I live in Kelowna, BC. It's 33C or 91.4 Fahrenheit. It does get hotter. I take off my shirt, put it under a tap, and put it on wet. Yes, personal cooling right there. We were over 110 heat decked over the weekend, and I was outside digging for setting up an above ground pool. Dude, pools. I'm trying to think of a situation where I've ever been where like even a pool wasn't enough to cool down. I mean, fortunately, I've never been in an area that was so hot where even the pool heated up to the point where it was uncomfortable. Like in Washington State, even when it's like 90 plus degrees or even near 100, the pool is still refreshing. Like the water doesn't heat up that fast. Downside being when it's 100 outside, even, yeah, new AC unit can struggle to keep up since they're generally designed to operate within 20. Yeah, they do have an operating range. You're right. Yeah. See, here's me being this out of touch person living in the amazing Pacific Northwest where we have mild temperatures that, I have seen our heat pump working really hard on the hottest summer days and working really hard on the coldest winter days, and it has left some to be desired in terms of like it wasn't able to fully cool or warm up as much as I wanted, but for the most part it's worked well. Yeah. No. Well, I don't know if Washington ever hit 100 degrees. Let me look this up. This is an easy thing to look up. Has Washington State... We don't hit 100 often if we ever do, but we do hit like mid to high 90s. So yes, Washington State often hits 100 degrees, and the all-time statewide high is 120 recorded in Hanford in 2021, which is kind of recent. Western Washington hit extreme triple-digit temperatures as well during that same time, with Seattle officially reaching 108. It's definitely more tame than other parts of the U.S., but the thing about it is, when you have a state like ours where it's not normal to hit those temperatures, people aren't prepared. Like, yeah, sure, Arizona, it gets so hot, but like the infrastructure and the people there, hopefully, are prepared for that, right? They're always expecting it. So they're set up with like energy efficient windows, AC, they're above ground pools that they built in because of it. But like for Washington, a lot of people don't have AC because it used to not be needed year round or like often. But nowadays it's becoming more common for people to install AC because like just, general trend of temperatures going up. So yeah. And then it's Eastern Washington that gets it worse. But like you just saw, like Seattle hit 108 at one point in time. So Yeah, it's like the South when it gets cold. Yeah, like when Texas froze over and then Ted Cruz went on vacation. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. What do I mean by data center got a rate increase? In Portland, Oregon. What up, Jonathan? How you doing, Blind Tech? Oregon is hopefully setting a trend for the rest of the country. Portland General Electric, they're going to increase the rate of users that use a certain amount of power, which is not going to be any normal individual resident. It's going to only be these big companies that use a ton of power affecting the grid. They're going to increase their how much they have to pay for that electricity by 30% to account for, you know, they're going to have to like upgrade their infrastructure because of it, and that's going to cost money. So they're going to make these companies somewhat pay for it. So this is a win. I should put this article, in the Discord, or not the Discord, but the description. Article or source. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, definitely want to cite my sources and give credit to, you know, Tom's Hardware for doing the reporting work. But yeah, my old AC unit was 34 years old when it finally crapped the bed. We replaced ours, and I told the story on stream years ago before we got the heat pump. But our AC unit, it started failing because of bad capacitors, and thankfully I was able to replace it myself and like troubleshoot it and diagnose it, because it would have been like at least a $500, if not more, bill. But then eventually we said like, hey, and then eventually our furnace went out. That's what happened. So we had a, you know, AC unit that sat outside the house. Then we have the indoor furnace unit inside the house, and the furnace, I believe, was the original with the house, so it was going on 20 plus years old. And the AC started to struggle, so then I had to like try to do as much as I can to keep it running without wasting a ton of money calling the AC repair people. But then our furnace just straight up died. It could not be, because it's such an old unit. Replacement parts and the labor and stuff like that would have cost in the thousands of dollars. And at that point, I was like, do I want to keep on throwing thousands of dollars to fix this 20-year-old thing, or do we get a heat pump which can act as both? And we now, you know, we are putting more strain on the grid, but now we're not using natural gas for the heating portion of it, so we went with that. But 34 years out of an AC unit, that sounds like really good. I don't know what they're usually rated for or what the average lifespan is, but 34, definitely well beyond warranty, it seems like. My home warranty bought the unit, and we still pay $4 grand for the rest of it. It wasn't covered. That wasn't covered. Okay. AC units are expensive to replace and repair. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where like the average person is not going to be able to work on those themselves, even with YouTube videos. And just because like you're working with very high electricity components that could kill you if you touch something wrong. You could pull the plug, sure, but you better make sure you know how to discharge those capacitors properly, and you don't break something in the process of trying to troubleshoot your own AC. So some things, like it's safer to pay a professional, but it sucks because it's so expensive. So the AI data centers will just be outside of Portland then, if that's the case. I mean, I think that's still a good step in the right direction. Putting these data centers away from humans. But okay, so that was the data center talk. How are we an hour into stream? I'm surprised you guys were this passionate or this interested in talking about the data center news, because if you guys haven't noticed, week after week the tech news has been boring as hell. And the fact that we were able to keep this conversation going on for nearly an hour about talking about data centers and power bills and stuff, it's just a testament to, one, how crappy the DIY PC space is doing right now with regards to news and exciting launches. But two, all of us are affected by AI and data centers. So, you know, it's good that we're passionate and aware of these things. But all right, let's move on to hardware stuff. Okay, Patrick McGovern, you did not sell your 5800 XUD in time. I could have sworn I've been seeing people buy those for stupid prices on eBay still. So, if you wanted to buy a 5800 XUD right now, you couldn't even get it for that good of a price. So, it looks like Micro Center does have some available in store, but we all know Micro Center isn't available to a lot of people. So, I wouldn't use this as a reference. Like, yes, Micro Center always has good PC hardware deals. It doesn't mean that it's accessible, and it doesn't dictate the price that people will pay on the streets. Let's go to Newegg. Is this a third-party seller by ProTech? Yes. Newegg, I didn't see if they got some first-party, like straight from AMD 5800 XUDs to sell. But the fact that a chain that is more available nationally is having this at 620, and people on here on eBay at least are listing them at 600 plus. Let's look at sold listings. I feel like, I don't know how much you spent for your 5800 X3D, but I feel like if you listed it for 300 bucks, you should be able to sell it like no problem. Let's see. So let me look up 5800. Actually no, we can go to sort here. I have to do a search for it. But I just because the anniversary 5800 XCD launched, I don't think the value of them have plummeted that much. Because we're gonna look at let me sort this by sold items. Are you gonna do it? eBay? And then we're gonna do it by ended recently. Yeah, so July 8th. You see all these listings? 330 bucks, 320 bucks, 399 July 8th, 312, 320. And this is, people are gonna have to pay shipping costs on top of it and tax. I think if you list a 5800 XCD for 300 bucks, which I think is totally a fair price, any more than that, I feel like then you're gonna start to become the scalper, trying to take advantage of the shortage of it, right? Oh, what is that? Goat number 1. Jay Neburu, thank you for the 1,000 jewels and the goat trophy. I appreciate it. But no, yeah. If you want to sell it, I think you can get some money back. But yeah, how much did you buy it for? Yes, exactly. Sorry, going back to the AC thing. You can't just put new refrigerant in to solve your problem as a normal person either. You have to have like a licensed person do it. You got a license for it, but I wouldn't even attempt to do a job like that myself. Wait, so you got the license to do the refrigerant, but then you don't want to do the refrigerant? Did you get like an overall like general license to do other work and it includes the refrigerant, but then that's just something above your pay grade? Or how's that work out? I was thinking a couple weeks ago, and if I sold my CPU 2 times 16 gigabit of RAM and my motherboard, I could afford a 9800 XCD combo from Micro Center and upgrade to AM5. Yeah, I mean, it did lose some value, but I think you should still be able to get a decent amount for it. Dude, the 9800 XCD costing $100 more than the 7800 XCD, I just don't think that's worth it. Save yourself the $100 and just go for 7800 XCD. And apply that towards the RAM. Like, I know the 9800 X3D, it's not technically the best anymore. That would be like the 9950 X3D or whatever. But like 7800 X3D, it served so many people. And before the 9800 X3D, that was the CPU people were using to benchmark the best graphics cards. So my take is 7800 X3D all day over 9800 X3D. You bought it new for $330. Oh my goodness. First of all, oh my god. $50 super chat. Let me get to that in a second. You bought a 330 new? Yeah, man. I think you could probably get 330 from it, right? Maybe not in your local area, but like for sure 300, I think. A lot of people are desperate to upgrade. So desperate, I need to pull up that thing in a second, that people are asking some weird questions about it. But yeah, no, I think you can get 300 for it. Probably people were paying 400 and stuff beforehand, but I don't know. Would you have felt comfortable paying that much or getting that much from someone if you sold it before the re-release? But okay, Evil Dragon Fires. Holy freaking crap, Nob. First time visitor. And you've been a subscriber since 2016. My goodness. I appreciate your support and viewership. You built your first PC on a video that I posted in 2016. Eventually learned how to become a software developer. And it's been rockets ever since. I owe you a lot. Thank you. Evil Dragon Fires. Thank you for the $50 super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by the stream. We've been doing this for a while. I stream every single week. So, you know, if you have the time, stop in, chill, hang out, talk to other fellow PC tech nerds and enthusiasts about whatever the topic on the of the week is. But yeah, you learned to build your 10 years ago. And then you became a software developer and it's been rocket. Yeah. I'm glad it sounds like you're doing well for yourself. I'm glad to hear it. Hopefully you're still into PC gaming and stuff like that. I have had some viewers who, like, I've met viewers in real life actually, that have told me like, hey man, I like got into PCs and stuff because of you, but then like they aren't into it anymore. And I'm always sad to hear that. Like people who get out of the PC hobby just because of real life rears its ugly head in or whatever reason. So yeah. But thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. When you say you're a stationary engineer, the dumb side of my brain thinks, like, do you engineer stationary papers and cardstocks and stuff like that? But stationary engineer, what do they do? You know, like paper engineers, right? That's a thing. Large mechanical systems that keep buildings working safely. I honestly, even being an engineer myself, I've never heard, I don't think I've ever heard of or had discussions about this this specific niche of engineering. Like so I would have just grouped this within either probably mechanical engineering, maybe a little bit of systems engineering, if it's about the actual building itself, civil engineering. But yeah, stationary engineering, I was not aware there was a subset that maintain large mechanical systems. Yeah, I would have thought, what's it called? Mechanical engineering. And it probably is either a subset of it or like basically the same thing, but high pressure boilers. But then that's when you get like thermal engineers into it, industrial air conditioners, electric generators, and then you get electric. So yeah, a bunch of different disciplines, engineering disciplines and stuff like that. But yeah, stationary engineers, can't say that I've heard of that specific sector. Interesting. Today I learned. Yeah. Chiller. Yeah, big equipment that doesn't move. That was not the first thought that came to my head. So yeah. You're only licensed for low pressures up to 15 psi. Building engineers, yeah. The average at the resolutions and settings I play at are pretty close between the two, like single digits. Yeah, if I was going that route, I'd just go all in. My understanding of 98 is a big leap on 1% lows, and with the 5800 XTD, it does occasionally get some stutters. Okay, yeah. Or at least going to I would have to look at it again, but I would think that a 7800 to 9800 XTD 1% lows would not be as big of a jump as the 5800 XTD to the 7800 XTD. But yeah, I understand wanting to go all in. And it sounds like I would imagine being a stationary engineer, you have like, you have adult money, right? I will always, even though I've graduated college, like how many years by this point? 15 years now. So I've had like adult job, adult money for we're closer to 2 decades now than 1 decade. But I always still have that money saving mindset. But no, yeah, if you have adult big boy money, then getting a 9800 X3D over 7800 X3D, it's not the end of the world, right? And if you're gonna use this computer for a long time, the cost over that time works out to like $25 a year difference or something. It's not that bad. Uh-oh, what just happened? Why did YouTube just crash out my chat window? Let me see if this still works. Okay. So I graduated with a degree in aeronautics and astronautics at the school that I went to, the University of Washington. It wasn't engineering school, but it didn't have engineering in the name because it wasn't aeronautical engineering or it wasn't astronautical engineering. Compared to like we had a civil engineering school, we had a mechanical engineering school, we had a chemical engineering, stuff like that. But our department, even though it was engineering, it was the Department of Aeronautics and Astronautics, which is airplanes and like, you know, rockets, I guess is how you can simplify it. But graduating college, I did not get, or actually I did get a job in the industry of aeronautics and astronautics, but I got a job that a lot of mechanical engineers and civil engineers got, because my job working at an aerospace company, I didn't do like aeronautics basically. I did structural engineering, which is you know, the body and frame and stuff, except for airplanes. So it's a little bit different than the structure that you would see in like a building or like on like a land-based vehicle, because it has to be more lightweight. But I basically did not do any work with aeronautics and like, you know, CFD and all that stuff. I went straight for the structural path, which is what mainly civil engineers do, and then mechanical engineering as well. So yeah, by my diploma, it's aeronautics and astronautics, but by actual like work experience, it's structural engineering. $7,800 X3D for $350 sealed on Facebook Marketplace, good deal. That's about what they normally go for. I think they're like $370 something usually. Sealed, I don't know if sealed is a good sign. I would rather buy a secondhand Amazon 7800 X3D for potentially, just because like when you buy off Facebook Marketplace, here's the thing you guys have to understand. Even if it's sealed, if someone delidded that thing and put it back in and resealed it and gave it to you, or if it's a dead CPU, if you buy it DOA, you're kind of out of luck. I don't know if AMD is gonna warranty that if you bought it secondhand. Someone can anyone confirm one way or another? Like, I would much rather buy for this if it's the same price on Amazon, which we can take a look right now to help you answer this question. But even if it's used, I would rather buy a 7800 X3D from Amazon warehouse. $328. It's lower. I would buy this. Oh wait, this is from a different company, but and it's a tray package, 100% new. Wait. Is there any Amazons here? I'm just saying, I would rather buy from Amazon, even if it's through a third-party seller. Oh, here's Amazon resale, $330. Not okay, so it's the same price. I would buy this over a brand new sealed in box Facebook Marketplace 7800 X3D, because if anything goes wrong, you have 30 days to return it and get a replacement. Facebook Marketplace, unless you do your due diligence, you look up the seller, make sure they're like, you know, it's not a brand new account. They have other listings. They have positive rating. When you meet up with them, they're not sketchy as hell. Like, you gotta do way more work. And then you gotta meet up with them. I know we hate Amazon because it's a mega trillion-dollar corporation or whatever. They're bad guy Amazon. But we still have to admit we use Amazon all the time, or a lot of people use Amazon all the time, right? So I don't know. I would go with this one, even though it's not brand new. That's my advice to you. I have a coworker that has a degree in civil engineering, but he ended up becoming a station engineer because his entire family does it. Yeah, so that's funny you say that. One of the smartest people I know is a civil engineer, like one of the smartest engineers I know. And I know engineers from all different disciplines of engineering, at least like what they studied in college. There's one of the smartest, hardest working ones I knew. I know he's still alive. Is a civil engineer. Yeah. He's a good guy too. So funny story, or funny we know that in common, but. You work for a college, so you get paid holidays, PTO, and sick time? Nice. Do you have so are you technically a government employee, or are you guys contracted? Because if you work for the school and it's like a .edu, at least if it's like a state university, I forget how that all works. Good friends do not let friends use Facebook for PCs. Facebook is fine. Are you kidding me? I swear half of my content is Facebook deal hunting for PC parts. Wait, Smash TV Network, where are you from? I don't know if you've ever shared this before, but where are you located? Like state. You don't have to give me your city. I'm just curious because I would think most people would agree that Facebook Marketplace is a gold mine for great PC deals. Any advice for getting cheap hard drives? Yeah, go secondhand. There is a hard drive. What is that website that people go to? Here, so discprices.com, very useful. I will link it to you right now. So you do account, yeah, working for the school, you work for the state. So you're technically a government employee, right? Are you gonna get what's it called? Do you guys still have pension and stuff like that? I know a number of people that work for the government, and every time they explain it to me, it just sounds like they're going to be taken care of. If they put their time in, they're going to be taken care of. Wait, were you... Wait. I'm sorry. I might have missed it earlier. I might have read it. So too many things going through my mind. You said you have teacher's retirement. Did you retire from being a teacher and then went on to... do what you do now? Or are you saying you get the same retirement as teachers get because you work for a school? That's probably the one. I don't think you're that old, Patrick, where you could have done a full teaching career, gotten teacher's retirement, retired, decided to go back into the workforce as an engineer after the fact. Yeah, that probably makes less sense. But that's what my mind went to first. But in terms of, so the thing about hard drive prices is data centers, they're not just looking for SSDs and RAM. They need actual like hard disk drives too. And even if they don't use the same grade ones that we do, they are buying from the manufacturers who now have to make a decision. Do we make consumer-based drives or do we make these enterprise ones and focus on data centers and where the money's at? So, I mean... $50 for 3 terabytes, that's not bad. This is through Amazon. Where do they only have Amazon? There's another server part deals. What is that website? For server part deals, this is a very well-known website where you can buy used, and I think they have some new ones too, enterprise server drives, but obviously you're going to save money when you buy the used ones that have like, you know, 10, 20, 30,000 hours, but are still perfectly capable. But data, you know, just because of these data centers, they have to swap them out before they fail. You can get a discount on buying those. So like, let's say you go here, what are we looking at here? We're looking at 14 terabyte drives for, I don't know what capacity, who asked that earlier, you're looking for. Anybody's getting cheap hard drives. What are we talking? Like 1, 2, 3 terabyte? Or are we talking about 14 terabyte drives? because I don't even know if they're gonna send price descending, ascending. Whoops, I chose the wrong one. 14 terabyte. Okay, I'm trying to find 3 terabytes. Do they not sell them? Oh, so I clicked on the wrong ones. We gotta click on this one. I clicked on the 14 to 24 category. Here is where we might find 3 terabyte. None? Okay. Apparently server part, I mean, it kind of makes sense. What server or data center, like enterprise level, is gonna use 3 terabyte drives? So for cheaper ones, it's secondhand market. If you need 3 terabyte or 4 terabyte or smaller drives, what you do is you go meet up with a laptop and a hard drive dock, just like what I did. I will show you in case you didn't see that video. Can I find it? Hard HDD pickup. And if you don't have a laptop, then bring your computer. Here we go. So in this video, what I did, I didn't bring my computer this time around because that would be annoying. So they make these USB hard drive docks. You can plug this into a laptop. I don't think you could do this on your phone. Maybe. Probably not. But some kind of mobile device that has a USB port, preferably, maybe even a Chromebook might be able to do this. But you pull up the hard drive information and you can see the power on hours, power on count, and just the overall general health of the drive. You don't really need to know too much about this. This gives you a pretty good snapshot picture of the drive condition. And yeah, you do this and you pick it up in your local market, hopefully from someone who isn't trying to scalp you. But otherwise, you're just going to be stuck paying standard, you know, Amazon Newegg prices. Hey, what up, Grimlong? I've had a lot of luck getting used enterprise drives on Mercari. Dude, to be honest, I think I've only ever bought from Mercari like once or twice. I need to sign in to my account. I'm not gonna do it right now because I don't want to dox myself, but I think I've only bought 1 or 2 things. I've never sold on here. But let's take a look at the prices we got. $27 for 2 terabytes. That actually doesn't sound too bad. Do they include smart data? They do not. Okay, let's take a look at this. Dang it. Can we zoom in more? When was the manufacturing date on this? You probably could look it up based on the serial number. Does it say it on here at all? Oh, date of manufacture. So I will say this. The only thing about buying on these used marketplaces is a lot of the times it's people getting rid of straight up balls old drives, right? Look at the date on this one. 2014. This is a 12-year-old drive. Now, granted, I've used drives that are that old or even older just fine. But until you plug this into the smart data and see how many power on off counts it has, which some people argue is more important than the on hours, over 12 years, I can only imagine if this was used in a personal computer that was turned on and off every single day, that could be a pretty racked up power on off count. So, but the price looks good. Maybe that's why the price is good. You got to get them big drives. What up, Jason? You got to get them big drives since they only started making the larger capacities in the recent years. Yeah, I don't remember when like 12 and 14 terabytes became more widely like available to at least, you know, normal people. But I think the smart data checking is the safest way to do it. But even then, smart data is not 100% foolproof. You could have a drive that shows smart data perfectly fine one day, and like a month from now, it shows bad. If something was destined to start failing, that's just like bad luck, right? But that can happen with even new drives. New drives can arrive DOA. All I'm saying is, you know, there is always a risk buying in the used market. Wait up. Smash TV Network. I'm still waiting for the answer as to where you're from. Because you said to not, what's it called? Buy from Facebook. But I'm like, do you live somewhere where you're going to get robbed or get scammed? He's from Russia. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think the what's it called? Smash TV Network has said and done some things where I'm like, I'm not convinced you're from the US. He was Googling US states. I mean, should we put a bounty for the proof, Jason? If they can like go walk outside, record a video showing that they're in the States to a nearby, I don't know, whatever, American chain, we'll give them like $100 or something. Because I'm very curious to know. Still using a 2 terabyte hybrid drive for mass storage. Remember them? Yeah, hybrid drives, I was always so annoyed of. Hybrid drives are marked up normal drives, man. I've never seen a hybrid drive do anything useful with that hybrid feature of it. And they normally they used to have like what, like 8 gigabytes of like flash storage on them for that hybrid aspect of it. I don't know what the allocation usually was between the like hard disk drive portion versus the SSD portion, but it wasn't ever anything that made a difference. I'm skeptical about Mercari. It almost seems too good to be true with the whole the seller doesn't get paid until you're happy type vibe. Yeah, you would imagine a lot of buyers will also end up scamming these sellers, because if they are focusing so much on the buyer being happy, the buyer can just lie and like say you sent them a box of rocks or some stupid thing like that. So yeah, that's why I kind of try not to deal. If possible, I try not to buy online used. Unless it's directly from like Amazon or something where my money's safe. But that's why I prefer to do online, or not online, but like local meetups after searching online on Facebook and stuff in my area. Ugreen has one cable for SATA drive, SSD or ACD, really good and cheap. It connects like a USB drive. One cable for SATA drive. You're talking about, that doesn't work for spinning drives. You can't power a spinning drive. I think I know what you're talking about. I have one of those things. Let's see, like SATA to SATA to USB adapter. You're talking about one of these, right? I'm pretty sure I have this one exactly. So, but you said SATA. It has to be an SSD. This does not work with HDDs because it requires too much power to spin up the disk. SATA SSDs use way less power, so a USB port can power it. But so you're saying Ugreen has something like this? Yeah, if you're going to pick up a SATA SSD or something, I guess you could do this. But I think the Ugreen, so let's take a bit. Ugreen SATA SSD to USB. Which one is it? It must be this one, right? But this one shows a power brick. Is there a big enough difference between 12 terabyte from a 14 terabyte drive if you're building a NAS? The difference is 2 terabytes. Not really, because these drives are not exactly that. No, but the biggest difference is Usually, once you start getting into this range, you're paying more per gigabyte for the 14 terabyte. Let me see if let's see if this shows. So we look at 16 versus 14 terabyte. Do they work out price per terabyte? 28 versus 29 versus 28. Sorry. So the like higher density platters and just fitting more into the same form factor, it's just gonna cost more, whether it be because like material costs, the whatever R&D it took for them to develop the ability to even fit 16 terabytes on a platter. It's just as you're getting to literally the bleeding edge of technology, in this case hard disk drives, it becomes more expensive. I wouldn't say exponentially, because this is not exponentially more expensive, but how big can HDDs get? 24 terabytes? Actually, let's look at a 20. This is a 20 terabyte. You see how the price has gone up to 31? But it's gonna cost more per gigabyte or terabyte. But if you're building a NAS system, I mean, if you're trying to maximize how much data you could fit into it, the 2 terabytes will make a difference if you're building a large array of, let's say, 6 drives, because that's 12 extra terabytes you could have for the same amount of ports before you have to start adding in, additional interface cards to give you more, SATA or SAS connectors and stuff like that. For a normal average person, I think 12 terabytes is fine. My server is all 12 terabyte drives. If I could get them in 14 terabytes without paying more, sure, I would have. Or keeping the same gigabytes per dollar, I would have. But you have to be more, economical and practical about it. For the average everyday person, I think 12 terabytes is fine. You do not have that much gooning material or whatever you store on them that it should make that much of a difference. I have one that I got for a Blu-ray drive, but thanks to Sony being dicks about decoding the format, it doesn't work well. Yeah, that's the whole thing about the physical media and stuff like that. Okay, let's have a discussion on that. We didn't talk about it last time. I think people wanted us to do Sony ending physical media or whatever. We gotta look this up for it. Physical disc production ending in January 2028. For new games. Internet is going kind of crazy over this. I totally get it, right? There is definitely pros and cons to this. And let's talk about them. This is a very interesting thing that somewhat applies to all of us. So I always like to play devil's advocate, but in general, yes, I totally agree, right? Ending physical media is just a bad thing for hardware or for preservation, for the ability to actually own the content that you've spent money for being able to resell, to trade to friends, to let friends borrow, right? These are all things that in the past, when it was only physical and no digital, we were all able to do. Digital comes with the convenience of not having to deal with, keeping track of that physical medium, not having to take up space in your maybe limited sized apartment or wherever you live. So there are some pros to digital as well. But for Sony in January 2028, ending physical releases, playing devil's advocate, I can see why they want to do this, right? With physical media, do you know how many box disc games now exist to never be sold just because they overproduced and will eventually probably land up in landfills and just, be waste? It was a waste of materials, a waste of resources to produce and package those physical mediums, and they overshot it, and now you just have them just sitting around. You know, they were a waste to make them, and now they take up space, and they'll probably end up in landfills eventually. So that's probably one of the devil advocates' arguments of why it is a good reason to stop doing the digital, the physical format. But like I said earlier, like, I hate that now Steam has the family sharing thing, but that's not the same. Like, you have to add people to your family and friends group, whatever, and then, like, if they leave, they can't join another family for a week or a month or a year or whatever that is, and like, it's limited to 5 people. Like, hey, in my lifetime, there might have been something that I wanted to share or let, you know, someone borrow, like more than 5 individuals borrow, and Steam family and friends sharing limits you to like 5. So, like, it's putting these artificial limitations on things that would not exist if you had physical medium. And then, of course, like, preserving it, right? Steam and even the PlayStation Store and stuff like that have been known to pull digital games that, even though you paid for it, now there's no way of playing it ever again. So having a physical disc, now that even games with physical discs, if they require server authentication, you're still screwed. Because even if you have the physical medium to reinstall a game or something like that, if it were to play it, if it requires like an online check, then it makes no difference either way, because they can still remove it. Jason, I tried to get you on the family plan. We can't because of you. It's not a us thing, it's a you thing. Now though, so Jason, when I asked you to join the Steam family plan, I probably wasn't coming to the table with that much in my own Steam library, and you would have been carrying that family library. But ever since adding my brother-in-laws, my goodness, I think their Steam library might be even bigger than yours. So I'm good now. But no, I would still add you to the family library if we could, because I just think in general, if we could save money, you know, for games that we don't intend to play, but we would like to benchmark, I think that would be useful. But hey, man, you got your account that is restricted, so we can't do anything about that. Wait, what is the Xbox looking to do, Kale? I didn't see what they were trying to do. Like AOL diskettes and CD. Yes, all those Juno, AOL, MSI, Yahoo free internet trial discs that are just in landfills till the end of time. Yeah, why not do both since they have done it? I think just, well, cutting on costs, right? You don't have to spend money on the wait. So because I don't super follow these closely, they're ending. Physical disc production is ending. Are they still going to sell boxes with codes in them, or are they just going to get rid of that altogether and you just buy it through the PlayStation Store? Are they still making boxes, at least, with a piece of paper with the code inside? Can anyone confirm? Because if they could cut the costs of CDs and cut the cost of box, and the cost of having to ship this to all the individual stores that need to carry it on their shelves. Like, from a business perspective, right? I'm not trying to show for a big business, but from a business perspective, it kind of makes sense. If you can cut costs there and you know, make more money, why not? And then even from a GameStop, Walmart and them, you only have so much limited shelf space. Do you really want it to be lined with these? Have you guys been to your local Walmart or Target? We talk about this all the time. Have you gone to the physical media section where they have, for some reason, random PC games that never sold still sitting on the shelves? That is just a waste of space, unfortunately. Now, I will say with console, it's a little bit different. I think for PCs, as cool as physical boxes and CDs and like instruction manual booklets are, dude, it's a sad sight when you see these PC gaming section in those stores, like the shelves, the selection that they have. Everyone's just moved on to Steam and Epic or whatever the heck other online marketplaces, unfortunately, right? I don't like the fact that Sony will be able to charge whatever they want for games and people won't have places like GameStop to go to for secondhand. That's also, yeah, like we mentioned earlier, that's a huge downside to it. Like, the second-hand market is just obliterated. There is no second-hand digital licenses. All these things, when we buy games from Steam or from the PS Market or whatever the hell it's called, we are signing an agreement that we will be the sole user of the game technically, but Steam's opening up on that a little bit. But yeah, no, you are paying for a license to use it from their servers that they could, you know, delete at any time, and you're technically not supposed to share it unless it's through like Steam family and friends. But yeah, I think that physical discs were dead the moment they started requiring internet updates and yeah. And nowadays games are just straight up getting patches like day one even, and like continual patches. The physical CD, I remember this very vividly. I had to at one point in time reinstall World of Warcraft on my 56K internet back in like 2005, and I had the original discs, you know, when the game originally launched. But obviously, with my 56K internet, having the physical medium was so helpful because, you know, it was like it's a 4 gigabyte game, or it's crazy how small World of Warcraft is, but it's like a 4 gig game. Classic is, anyways. So I had to reinstall, and it going through a CD is way faster than doing it via 56K internet. But then the ugly reality set in. Once I was done installing it, I couldn't even log in and play because you can't play unless you're on the latest patch on an online, you know, massive MMORPG. So then I had to get my friends to burn me discs of the patches so I can apply them, because there's no way I was going to do a fresh WoW install and have like months and months of patches to install over the internet on 56K. But yeah, I see what you're saying here. Like, there's no game that releases these days that doesn't eventually get patches, whether it be on console or Steam after the fact. Like, the version 1.0 never stays version 1.0 in this day and age. Name one game Steam removed you can't play anymore, even offline. Well, I wouldn't say Steam removed it, but what's it called? Here's a prime example. Now, we can't say that Steam removed it, but we can say it was removed from the Steam store because this was a game that was released in 2020, and my friends and I played it. Now, I think this was free. No longer available on the Steam store. You actually cannot play this game. This is a really fun game, by the way. You cannot play this game even offline, even in LAN mode. But I can't complain because this game did not cost us money. But let me see. There's an example. You cannot call me Spec Ops: The Line. That was the one. Good. I have a YouTube short coming up about this. Spec Ops: The Line. That's the one that people bring up when this conversation comes up. Spec Ops: The Line. You go on the Steam page. Let me put my fake birthday. Come on. And Spec Ops: The Line, very positive. Look at that, 27,000 positive reviews. 2012. Spec Ops: The Line, no longer available in the Steam store. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think back in 2012 there probably was a physical release of this. I don't know if you can still play that if you had it, but Yeah, no, I'm sure there's more games than that. Hey, what's up, the one and only Dukes? I'm your favorite nerd. I I appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words. Jason says, I was asked to join Drew's family plan, and I alone own 3 times as many games as their entire family plan. Me joining would be a charity. But here's the thing, Jason. Then you start. Okay, what's up? Oh, I thought Melissa was talking to me. Here's the thing, Jason. The number of games does not matter because anyone can go on, you know, what's that? Humble Gaming and buy whatever these bundles are, buy these cheap 10-cent games and stuff. It's not about the number of games. I think for Steam Family, it's about the value, which I think Steam gives you, right? Don't they give you a summary of like how much money it's technically worth your account based on the value of the games? Because yeah, AAA titles carry more weight than indie games. I'm just giving you shit, Jason. I know you also own AAA games. But that's kind of funny that, like, for you, you're like, hell no, I'm not joining because, well, you couldn't join them anyways because your account restrictions. You are restricted. Yes. Your wife still uses AIM. Sorry, I'm getting caught up on some of these older ones. I know people who still use Yahoo. Okay. By show of hands, who here still uses a Yahoo or AOL or MSN email? I switched over to Gmail. I forgot what year. I think it was probably around 2007. When I went to college, basically. I used Yahoo up until going to college. And then once in college, I used my university email for a bit until... I don't know why it took me so long to get on Gmail. Because, like, of the the free email services, even though Google steals your data and whatever... My goodness, I could pull up emails from 15 years ago with images on Gmail right now. For archival purposes, Gmail, I'm sorry, it is kind of goated. Like, and the search function, I can search with like 1 or 2 keywords and find emails that I'm trying to look for from like 15 years ago. Like, no problem. But anyways, back on topic. The real question is who uses MySpace? Dude, MySpace died, came back as a music platform, and then I don't know what happened. I don't even know if my MySpace page still exists after the whole reacquisition and everything. But yeah, I use AOL as my main one still. It says user HR blah, 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 blah. Okay. I stopped using it because it includes Ollie the Magic Bum, and that didn't sound very... Wait, what? Ollie the Magic Bum? What is that? Oh! You're sorry. You stopped using your personal email that had Ollie the Magic Bum, which is from Tony Hawk, it looks like. I thought you said... So you see how my mind... sometimes is crazy and thinks the dumbest things first before the logical answer. But I thought you meant somewhere in your, like the AOL services, kind of like Clippy, the magic paperclip that helps you on MSN. I thought you were talking, it was like a thing on AOL email. But yes, your email address itself has something inappropriate. Got it. Yes. Okay. Go ahead and search it. It still exists. Dude, I do not want to search my MySpace because that is cringe city. High school me? Are you kidding me? I need to first filter that out before we open that up on stream, okay? But yeah, I did look into my MySpace, like, I mean, it must be more than like 5 years ago. I looked into it years and years ago. I think it still exists. But it's so annoying because like that was when I used my Yahoo email. And like that was when I used whatever password I can never remember. So I'm always having to constantly password reset and re-authenticate and do all that crap. Because it's just something I don't use anymore or care about. Yeah. The thing that literally created Stop Killing Games, The Crew, Ubisoft shut down the servers, unplayable with without community workarounds. Smash TV Network says the crew is online. I'm referring to games with single player. I mean, for the crew, can you still download? Can you still buy, download, and play single player even? Can you buy and play single player? You can no longer buy or officially play the crew. Its official server shut down, making the game unplayable. The game unplayable? Oh, sorry. The game, like even the single player game, the game is permanently delisted from all stores. If you already own the game, fans have created an official offline mod. Wait. Why do you even need an offline mod? Because the game, even in single player modes, needs online authentication. So what are we talking about here? Yeah, Smash TV Network. No, you're wrong. Even, it sounds like with the crew, you need an offline mod even to play offline. So I don't know what kind of hill you're trying to die on, but you have some really odd takes a lot of the times. Your Steam account, I'm not convinced you're 21, Smash TV Network. Maybe I feel like you bought, you know how some people buy Steam accounts because of their age based on the serial number, the less digits there are. I wouldn't be surprised if you bought a Steam account that is older, but I'm not convinced you are of 21 years of age or older. Still use Yahoo Fantasy Sports? Wait. Is Yahoo the place to do fantasy sports? I think that's something I've heard over the years. Shout out to Clippy, he's the real MVP. Yeah. Your Yahoo email is 35 years old. Smash TV Network, you're not convincing me. You're over 35 years old. You're convincing me you've bought these accounts, but yeah, there's no way. Yeah. Yeah, if your Yahoo email is like 35 years old, that means you were older than that when you made the account, and 35 years ago was 1990, and you're telling me you were of age, like at least a teenager, if not older. No, Smash TV Network is such a BSer. You say you're 46? There's no way. And I know you're gonna make up some excuse when I call out for proof, but all the things that you've talked about over, I don't know if you, I feel like you've been in the chat for years now, but I feel like, honestly, I feel like you're one of those people who like constantly lies for online validation. I feel like, chat, should we put out a bounty for the Smash TV networks to prove that they're 46 years old? If we could gather enough money, and if they can submit unrefutable proof that they're that age and they're from the US, then we pay them the bounty. Should we do that? Looks like Yahoo Mail started in 1997. Yeah, when did Yahoo... Sure. Yahoo Mail officially launched in October 8th, 1997, but you just claimed that your Yahoo account is 35 years old, which makes that 1991. The service created after Yahoo acquired the company 411 and its web-based email platform Rocket Mail. Let's hear the excuses now. No. This is not a paper towel. I have microfiber cloths. There's no way. Yeah, paper towels. I don't know if they would get scratched. I guess I've done it with tissue paper. No, I would never use paper towel. It's too rough and stiff. But yeah, no. These are just. Where are these from? Just, you know when you buy random stuff from Amazon and they just decide to include microfiber cloths for you? That's all I use. I have enough. Do I have another one here? Oh man, when I talk about, I literally cannot have enough of these I just have different ones from different stuff I buy all over the place. Yeah. Okay, Smash TV Networks, you can't just disappear from us now. Yahoo's not even 30 years old yet. Yahoo Mail, so where are we getting at? I know, see, Smash TV Networks, this is what you do every time. Anytime you're called out or anything in the chat during the streams, you just disappear and don't say anything, and then you eventually resurface some streams later. I know you're still there. You did not just get into this conversation, make up these lies, get exposed, and then not address it. So, we will not chat. If Smash TV Network... Oh, you're here. So, you just claimed your Yahoo account. You're 46 years old. Your Yahoo account is 35 years old. So, you made your first Yahoo email 35 years ago at 11 years old, when Yahoo email services did not even exist until 1997. It's only 29 years old. Let's hear the explanation. But while that's going on, my mom still uses Yahoo. Okay, law, I knew I had to be tripping. Okay, my Yahoo email was a part of the early DoD experiment before it was available commercial. That's my reason. Uh-oh, that might be Smash TV Network's also claimed reason too. We'll see. What up, Hazard Me? How you doing? I don't know why it translates. Does anyone else see the translate thing when Hazard Me put ha 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 ha? Because I see the translator thing right next to that. But you get those microfiber cloths now with mirrors and fans. Yeah, it just comes with everything nowadays. I still use Yahoo because it's still connected to some accounts. Yeah, I don't use my Yahoo account anymore, but my university email from my college is still connected to some of my accounts, and the thing is, I don't have direct access to it anymore. I have everything forwarded, so I still get emails, and I can send emails from it through email because I set up a forwarding thing. But like to get directly into the web interface of my university one, I don't have access to it. And I haven't looked into getting access to it. So that's why I have not canceled or changed the email for that one. But yeah, I very occasionally I check in on my Yahoo email address, and it's just so much spam and junk and crap. Like there's like dead internet theory stuff coming to my Yahoo email at this point. There's no human interaction, like real human emails coming in to that, and there hasn't been for years. Which is kind of a weird thought, because I used to use it as my main one at one point in time for everything. But now it's just like dead internet theory email. My Facebook account is from 1952. I say it like 35 years old. What? Proof I'm not a child? I mean, Smash, you need to record a video with your voice and go walk to the nearest whatever. I swear, Smash would hire somebody and split the bounty with them. They would hire someone in the United States to make a fake video. You gotta hop on a call. Smash TV Networks, if you ever want to go on the Discord server and hop in a voice call live in person on the stream, feel free to let me know to prove that you are a 46-year-old. Hi. Oh my god, hi cutie. Then feel free. But otherwise, I'm so skeptical of anything you say. Aw, she left. I was gonna go buy some Newports and show your age. And that'll prove your age. Well, you only have to be 21 to buy those, right? Alright, see you later. The one and only Dukes. My aunt uses the email she got from her internet provider. That's a strange one to me. I know some people that uses like at Comcast.net or com or whatever, or at, you know. Do you still get to use that till the end of time, even if you switch providers? Like people with Comcast emails, once they switch off to something way better because Comcast sucks, do you get your Comcast email to continue using? Because I feel like losing access to your primary email for switching internet providers would kind of suck. Alex or Alexis. Alex is Javier or Alexis Javier. So what happened with the data center stuff? You're late. The article is in the description, but long story short, in Oregon, there is the biggest, power provider in the state of Oregon. They're going to charge data centers or any industries using more than 20 megawatts of power, a 30% hike in costs because of the load that it's going to impose on their grid. And then they're also cutting costs for residents, which is a win. So yeah, but it's not like nationwide. It's just in this, it's actually just one company, but the hope is that this is picked up and this trend is followed by a lot of other companies and states. So yeah, but the whole article is in the description. Check it out. It's honestly a win, a small win given everything, but a win nonetheless. Why does chat keep disconnecting? Why? Why you do this, chat? My student email is deactivated, but I still got $100 off a monitor using it. So the funny thing is, my student email isn't deactivated. I don't think it ever will be. I don't really use it. I'm not a student anymore. But, and I don't care putting this out in the wild. Every time I buy a Adobe CC subscription, you know, not buying a physical thing, but buying a subscription service every year, I use my internet or my my student email, my .edu email from my university, and I get the student discount because, you know, screw Adobe. I think I've openly said, I think it was last week's stream, I wouldn't mind pirating from Adobe. I feel like I've given them multiple thousands of dollars over the years, whereas if they still provided like a full thing that they sold and not subscription, I would have bought it. If I could buy Premiere Pro for $1,000 right now, I would. But no, I have to pay $300 something yearly to use this damn thing. So, but yeah, no, I use my student email for that, and I think only that. I don't try to use my student email for other things, but with Adobe, I think everyone universally hates Adobe, so they're okay with it being pirated and stuff like that. Let's be fair, 90% of internet providers kind of suck. What do you have, Ghost of M? So we have one here called Ziply Fiber, and they're not perfect. I've seen plenty of complaints about them online. From my personal experience, they've been great. They give fiber internet as low as $35 a month, but that's a limited time offer. In the email that I did on the, or not in the email, the video I did on the router, I get from them, I get 2 gig locked in $75 a month. I know there are some people paying more than that for less than a gig, and I'm getting 2 gig up and down, symmetric, 75. And everybody in my area pretty much is getting this rate. And they were one of the first in my area to provide fiber. And I was on the 1 gig fiber with them for years, but they started pretty expensive. The fiber, I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things, it was pretty cheap considering what other people pay for like crappier internet. I think I started paying for them 70 or 80 bucks. But then to be more competitive, just like this last year, they started providing 2 gig for even less than what they used to charge 1 gig for. But still, under $100 for a gig, I think is like a lot better than what most of the people around the country have. So I would agree with you. Yeah, most internet service providers suck. Maybe Ziply might eventually suck. You know, everything eventually sucks when companies start to get more greedy over time. But so far, they've been great. I've been on Ziply, I think, for 5 or 6 years now. I think we got them during the pandemic, maybe. I would have to look at my billing, but they're awesome. I get 1 gig for $70 from Xfinity in Florida. I can almost bet that that's 1 gig down, and you're up is like some fraction of that. Which for most people doesn't matter, but for me, upload matters so much. Upload is what keeps this stream running smoothly. Upload is what I use to upload my videos to YouTube every single time. Upload is what, like, if I'm trying to move things from off of my network onto my network, that it all relies on upload speed. And Comcast or Xfinity historically has had horrible upload speeds. Oh, 300 up? Okay, dude, I'm talking about, so 300 up is better than what I was imagining, because have you guys seen the LAN party stories videos? I used to have Xfinity where they gave like 25 up or something stupid like that. 300 up, I think, is workable. Did they remove data caps too? My biggest thing about Comcast or Xfinity was upload speed was like being 25 when you had download being like 500. So stupid. But beyond that, data caps. Because of how much I upload, and then when I download, you know, Steam games for benchmarking and whatever the heck, having a 1 terabyte per month data cap, I used to go over that all the time. And the only way to get rid of the data cap was like to spend double the amount or something, which I wasn't trying to do. So that's why when I could get off of Xfinity Comcast, I was so happy to. But yeah, Ziply never had a data cap, at least since I've been with them. And they've had pretty reasonable price. Obviously, I always want my internet and bills to be cheaper, but I'm happy to pay 75 bucks a month for 2 gigs. I think they got rid of data caps. We had unlimited for a while now. Okay, yeah, that's good to hear. As much as Comcast sucks, I will give them their flowers when they do things like that are more consumer friendly. Fortnite runs smooth, law. Had internet issues this weekend, but also had power issues thanks to the storms. Look for next light in Longmont. Look for community internet in your area because it's spreading fast. And it's way better than dealing with Comcast or internet. Community internet. Community internet. See if this is a thing. What is community internet? Lynnwood residents have many great internet choices. Best options are Ziply or Xfinity. I don't know if that's what is community internet though. Are you talking about like really small outfits? Community internet providers. I mean, technically, would Ziply be considered a community one because it's not nationwide? Is the only difference between community and not is if it's like a nationwide brand or service? They say unlimited, but they warn you at 3 terabytes. I think 3 terabytes, and if it's only a warning, because I used to get charged when I passed that cap, they charged me like 20 bucks even for going over like 1 megabyte over the 1 terabyte. It's like, at least scale it, but it's impossible not to use 1 gigabytes of data in a month. You mean terabytes? I have 1 gigabyte down and about 900 up, but anything over 1 gigabyte isn't available to me, and I don't know when it will be available, which sucks. But AT&T sucks. I mean, to be honest, I think I would be okay with 1 gig up and down. I just took the 2 gig or 2.5 gig. No, it's 2 gig. 2.5 is the standard for ports and stuff. Yeah, I just took the 2 gig because it was the same price or cheaper. If they had a 1 gig up and down plan for like 40 bucks that scaled linearly with the 2 gig plan, I'd probably do that. 40 bucks for 1 gig up and down, also amazing price. I don't need 2 gigs. I only have it because they have a stupid pricing model to force you into the 2 gig basically. So we own our own provider. There are several towns in Colorado that own their own internet. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, just based on that Google search, it doesn't look like there's anything like that around me. At least that's easy to find. But interesting. I had not heard of that. What would be my opinion on the government passing laws to limit data caps or even limit the charges that companies can levy to those who go over caps? When you say limit data caps, you mean like to increase data caps or like to not put data caps in place? The way it's wording, because or even limit the charges. What would be my opinion? I'd be down for that. I'm not one of those people who are like, government needs to be hands off in, you know, private sector or whatever. Like, we've seen time and time companies like Comcast have very anti-consumer practices. Some of y'all, like, anti-government people, oh, I don't want the government to step in. Sure, you could let these private corporations screw you over. I'm okay with government oversight when it's for the consumer. Plus, we already have the oversight, so at least make them work towards doing something good for us. Like, I don't think we're ever, at least in my lifetime, in our lifetime, we're ever going to reach a point where we're going to be truly government free. So we got to make the best of what we have. They're here. They're already doing making other decisions that we're not happy with. At least protect us when it comes to these companies screwing us over as consumers. Like, I'm not sure many people would disagree with that, right? And I think that would be a common opinion among most of us here. Government actually working for us and stopping companies from screwing us, I think that's a good thing. The government is already stepping in for us in other like sectors and other areas. Like, I don't think we have a say in it either way. So I am for them stepping in to help us. Let's just say that. I got Xfinity 1 gig, $50 a month for 5 years. Does that one also have 300 up? Oh my god, the Smash TV emailed a face vid. Okay, let's see. I'm not gonna pull that up on stream just because I don't know if you would want that or not. Plus, I need to pre-screen it because it might be something that is not what we are intending to see. But I'll check it out after the stream. I appreciate you sending that over, Smash TV. But we'll see. We'll see if I can be convinced or not. Because, you know, there's deep faking. There's all this fake stuff. You could have gotten somebody else to do it for you. That's why even pre-recorded videos, I don't fully trust. There have been proposals to literally prevent companies from having caps at all. Well, I'm not for that. There has been proposals to prevent companies. Who are these usually led by? What states? What side of the aisle generally? And I'm not trying to make this like a politics war or anything like that. I'm just curious. Because obviously as a left-leaning person, if I see that left-leaning politicians are for that stuff, I'm not happy about that. I don't blindly just accept, you know, whatever side that I generally agree with all the time. But there's been proposals, yeah, to prevent it. I mean, obviously people are not okay with it. Consumers are not okay with it. But with lobbying and bribery and stuff like that, that's the only way these things get put into place. I know some customers aren't even aware of caps just to get a bill later. No, yeah. I mean, a lot of people aren't tech savvy or tech. They don't care about tech. So they just like, I have internet. I'll pay whatever bill the company sends me. Which is not a good way to do it because, you know, you should definitely be aware of what you're getting charged for. But yeah, some people just can't be asked to care. Our biggest package is 8 gigabit up and down, $250, but the standard is 1 gig at $50. Price has gone up, is now $70, but the rate locked for life. Interesting, okay. Don't like that Xfinity lets people share your home internet. Someone with an Xfinity account just passing by can log into a secure channel. Oh, yeah. It's funny because I think to some people that's useful, but to some people that's like, hey, don't piggyback off of my network just so that you can get onto the Xfinity hotspot thing that they provide. Yeah. Yeah, I think more people probably enjoy being the hotspot hopper than the amount of people who care that people are piggybacking off their network, if that makes sense. Like, you don't like that N2 tech, but if you had to survey like 100,000 people or something, there's probably more people who are for that technology being put in place because they benefit from it, because they are the hoppers. But I get what you're saying, yeah. You pay $100 a month for 1 gig? I mean, I would say that's probably the upper limit of what I would think a gig. Actually, maybe not. I feel like gigabit internet and fiber is becoming more normalized, that the price is naturally falling. Ask me 5 years ago and I would say, yeah, gigabit for $100, that is kind of a steal considering how crappy Comcast is. But now I feel like it's becoming more normal to be in the like 50 to 80 range. So that seems a bit expensive, but at the end of the day, if you can get more than $100 of value out of that fast internet, then, you know, it's common sense. Like, you pay for it. There is no world. Yeah, government is tasked with providing services to people. What we have has been intentionally broken. But there's no world without some form of central organization. Yeah. And it gets tough. Even if you go to smaller local governments, in the grand scheme of things, they will always have to answer to a higher form of regional or national government. And then it just becomes messy. Yeah, I know politics. It's easy for us to criticize it, but it is such a complicated, delicate, like, overall topic. And if the answer was that easy, it would be solved, but it's not. It is just a huge mess. And part of it is because of people. Part of it is because things have always been done the way it has been. People don't want to break away from it. They don't want to change. Dinner's cooking. So I am involved in that right now. Mike, how you doing, Mike Razone? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, with tech and internet and stuff, it sucks that we have such old geezers in positions of power that I think did you guys watch the Gamers Nexus thing about the pirates, what is it, the Minecraft? Here, let me see if I can pull it up. Hopefully Steve doesn't copyright strike me. But when you hear these people talk about this stuff, and as PC enthusiasts and gamers, where is it? I didn't watch the full video. Was it this one? No, it wasn't this one. Not that one, not that one. Do over single bolt. Where was that video? It basically had a snippet from some kind of hearing where they were talking about private Minecraft servers. I don't remember what video it was from though. You guys might have seen it. But yeah, anytime you hear these politicians talk about this stuff. Oh, was it? Wait, Steam Machine, single versus dual channel. No, it's not that one. Oh, I think it was this one. This was 4 days ago. Here, this is the one.
Currently hosted.
Is this coming through?
So by community.
That is very loud. Can you guys hear that? I gotta mute myself.
That's correct. Minecraft is currently hosted by community servers. Call of Duty community servers. So it's an option that is out there in existence here today.
They're illegal.
So is it like the black market of video games?
Yeah.
They get paid by game companies.
The black market of video games. These custom hosted servers. They're saying they're private illegal servers. But it's like, that was just a snippet of it. He goes more on it in the video and stuff like that. But these people have no clue what anything is. It's I don't know. I guess as people who are more well versed in it, they just sound like idiots when they talk about this stuff. But I don't know, man. You could argue a lot of these politicians don't know anything about anything. It's not just tech, but that's, you know, that's another conversation to be had. Private game servers are a black market. Well, as a World of Warcraft player, private servers have been a thing for a while there. But that's a whole nother conversation to be had. Benzarino pays $250 monthly for business class 1 gig. Is that just more like guaranteed uptime? Business class 1 gig? What is business class 1 gig versus normal 1 gig? No dropouts? I don't know. I don't think I've ever really had. Or maybe it's just like, if something happens, like your line gets severed by a neighbor who digs in your yard, or like there's outages, they prioritize the business class. But other than that, like I might be lucky, because I feel like my normal class internet has been like business class, because there has been like virtually no downtime, no outages and stuff, no speed, what's it called, throttling and stuff like that. The internet is a system of tubes. That's a lot of tubes. Heavily lobbied is what are called Nor Pennington shams. Look up the reasons on the dark side. Multi-point influence manipulation. Teams waving motorsport. Dude, I work private security for the Eagles, and the security is getting to the point where everything is computers and tablets for security reasons. You work private security for the Eagles? That's pretty cool. We're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Not the, I don't know what other Eagles exists. You work private security for them, and security is getting to the point where everything is computers and tablets for security reasons. As opposed to what beforehand? Before it going to all computers and tablets, what was it before? I'm not in security, so I'm having a hard time imagining what the transition looked like pre and after. Oh, pat down. That's what you mean. So you mean physical, like metal detector, person there, pat downs, waving a metal detector wand, to now automated. You go through, it somehow scans and x-rays or does whatever. Okay. Got it. It could have these cameras that artificially, intelligently detect that bulge in your pants is not because you're happy to see them, but it's because it's a gun. Okay, that's what you probably mean. Okay. 4 hours or less on-site tech visit if any issues. Hardware firewall. Hardware firewall. Okay, that makes sense. And my Wi-Fi would cover. Wait, they give you like a higher class Wi-Fi, like a router. So the thing I learned when doing the router video research and stuff like that, like consumer grade routers, they can only be designed to penetrate or reach a certain distance because of the radio signals. But I was not aware that if you had a business grade account and they give you a business grade router, then you could now get much better range. I'm assuming that's the case. That's the only other way it would cover that much more than compared to a house. Huh. Interesting. Enterprise level router. I wonder if I could get that for my house if I open. Yeah, for me, it's probably cheaper just to buy a mesh network than to try to pay monthly for a business account to get better coverage for an enterprise level router. But okay, interesting. My mom in North Carolina has T-Mobile 5G and it's $50, 800 gig. Wait, what? 800, that wouldn't be 800 gig up. It would be 800 megabits up or down and 200 up, and guaranteed to stay at price forever. Excellent service. So when you have T-Mobile 5G, how do you get that speed? How do you get near that? I mean, that's pretty close to 1 gigabit. 800 megabit down and 200 up. I'm assuming this is just like a hotspot thing. Is that how good these hotspot services are for internet? I've only ever had like wired internet services anywhere I've lived, whether it be Comcast or now Ziply Fiber. I've never used a hotspot type of device internet service. Are any of you guys out there use one of those? In my mind, it's essentially cell service, right? T-Mobile 5G, it's in the name, 5G like cell service. I was not aware that you could get consistent, stable speeds that fast over our cellular network like that. You have T-Mobile home internet, it's pretty good. Well, there's a difference between, like, does T-Mobile have hardwired home internet or is all theirs wireless? Because like AT&T, for example, AT&T, they have fiber internet in our area. So it's like hardwire or, fiber and hard wires and lines and stuff like that. But I'm sure AT&T also has a mobile internet or like a wireless internet hotspot service thing as well. So for the T-Mobile, I don't doubt that they might have a good like traditional internet, but I'm talking about this hotspot wireless internet stuff. She's had it for 3 years and it's never gone down. It's unlimited. It's an unlimited hotspot. I'm just surprised to hear those speeds. You're talking about 800 down, 200 up. That's better than some people with like hardwired Comcast internet at $50 and it's like wireless. To me, that's impressive. Yeah, even if it doesn't match, even if it's like still like even a couple hundred, I am still impressed because that's in my mind. These hotspot and cellular internets are still like really slow. But actually, let me see my phone. I'm not in a good place for service right now in the basement, but yeah, I need to test. Actually, do I even have 5G or am I on 4G internet? I use Cricket Wireless, so it's kind of one of the cheaper phone plans. The speeds and stuff are fine for me, but I'm sure. Let me see. Do I have 5G LTE? Let me test this. Oh, okay. Mine's 5G at least. Yeah, so I have 5G, but the data, the speeds, I need to test it later when I'm upstairs with better service range. I can wrap up, yeah. What do you need? Okay. Do you need anything else when I go? What's up? Okay. Did you eat the jambalaya? Yeah. Did you pack some for Johnson? Yeah. Did you leave it out for me? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, let's wrap up. I gotta go make a medicine run in a second. So we'll chill for 5 more minutes. But dude, this is good discussion we're having. See, even when there's no hardware news and like new graphics cards and CPUs and stuff, we can still talk about just stuff in the tech space because we have an awesome community here, and like a lot of you guys. Again, I will always praise you guys for helping me make these streams as successful as they are. We've been talking for almost 2.5 hours about stuff, even when the news is slow, because you guys help make it happen. But I do have to end the stream to go to Costco to pick up some allergy meds for Melissa. So, Sammy Stone says, how are you and the family, Danny Boy? Hello from cold Melbourne. Is it cold because it's the opposite seasons there now? How cold does it get? Well, what are we talking about cold here? You put the kangaroo in there. But I'm doing great. Family's doing great. Hope you're doing great. Yeah, man. I would say like life is very good right now. I couldn't ask for it to be that like any better, to be honest. Isn't that what Verizon Fios was? That I'm actually not sure. Right now, you're getting up is 15 megabits. And 250 down. Okay, my Verizon hotspot is up to 622 megs on 5G, but it drops after that. Okay, let's go IRL stream, dude. IRL streaming is becoming such a popular thing. I don't know if I could do it though. I can record videos in public. Dude, IRL streaming has a pretty bad rap. It's like some of the most prominent IRL streamers are the most obnoxious, crappy people that deserve to get punched in the face type people. So I think in general, even if you are a good IRL streamer that's not being problematic and stuff like that, I think the general public perception of IRL streaming is not good. Yes, you are the backbone, and I appreciate it. I'm serious. Like, I always say it. These streams are nothing without you guys. Like, I would literally be sitting talking to the wall. So you guys help me bounce ideas and like carry on conversations and stuff like that all the time. Do you guys hear that? Do you hear a crazy girl upstairs screaming her head off? There are yes. Do you watch WestJet by chance? I just watched a video from him. I don't know. I don't subscribe to him, but just because I watched a couple of his videos, this guy right here, this guy, he's killing it, dude. This is the transition I need to make. Cover streamer drama, IRL streamer drama, because no matter what, it's just views. It's just views. Like literally posted this 8 hours ago, 233k views. Emu files just dropped. I had not seen this one yet. I think I saw this extra Emily one. But yeah, there's channels dedicated to covering the drama of not streamers and IRL streamers. It's crazy. Atazi. Oh, I know that one. I can't say I know it. I've seen that one. Yeah, another channel that just 2 million subscribers. When did they start making videos? Oldest video, 13 years. But when did they start covering drama? I don't think they started covering drama until, yeah, see? So they've been around for a long time. But then BuzzFeed or YouTube, yeah. Then they cover news, but then like pivoting to just streamer drama. I mean, I can see why. There's money to be had. We need a Danny After Dark talking about the dark web. Lol. I don't know anything about the dark web, to be honest. I think I've said that before. I've never gone to the dark web. I have never like been interested to try to buy some illegal substances or trafficked humans, you know, all that stuff. Never been there. I don't like, it's funny because with the dark web and the things that go on there, you would think because we have the FBI looking at everything we're doing and stuff like that, and the government, oh my goodness, she is going crazy. I think you guys probably hear that. You think that the dark web, like, I don't know, are like VPNs just gonna protect you from, you know, from people finding out that you went to the dark web and did illegal stuff there? Yeah, that's above my pay grade in terms of like all what goes on into, you know, cybersecurity side of things there. Nope, here's an idea: buy a PC off the dark web. We talked about this in a previous stream. I don't want to get scammed. I feel like the dark web is also a place not only where very, very bad things go down, but also where people could scam you and you have no protections. I will put it on the list. Dark web. Buy a PC from the dark web. The issue is I don't want to promote that. And by making a video, and if it does well, it will be promoting the dark web to people who may have never even heard of it before. So it's kind of a fine line, but we'll see. I put it on a huge back burner of ideas, of like hundreds of other ideas that I have. Yo, what up, Grayman Media? Me neither. That is someone else's job. Earn a lot of practice specialties. The more you know, the more you earn any profession. That'd be a crazy video. Okay. Solidarity with Napster. Okay. Yeah, I know borrowing from Mr. Huang is an IP violation. I gotta go. Thank you for the fun stream, y'all. No video this weekend, but I do have I have some good videos coming up, I promise. But there should be short form stuff that still drops. So yeah, stream should be on same time, same place next week. So hopefully there's more tech news then. If not, if you guys come with topics, I'm down to just, you know, talk about whatever you guys want to. But yeah, you guys have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend coming up, and I'll see you in the Discord server or in, you know, any of the short form stuff that I drop. But otherwise, I'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.